Hello and welcome to another video of the Powder Toy for some reason. Instead of Stormworks, I'm working on it. I'm gonna do coal power, an engine controller hopefully. I need to give Brian a breadboard so it knows what it's doing, and from the depths. If you don't know Brian, haven't actually made a video on it. Again, we still haven't had a video from the depths. I'm just very slow with that game. It's very complicated. Don't think it looks. It might look easy, but if you want to do anything cool, you're gonna be there for a long time. Anyways, this is my third time trying this video. The first time was not even close to successful. First off, control. You have uranium and plutonium. What about deuterium? Well, if you design it right, you don't need control. And if somehow you design uranium or plutonium, I don't think it's possible to use plutonium in a controllable way. But maybe if you can configure the voids, which I don't know how to do, you can make it so half of them get rid of stone and half of them get rid of, like, uranium. So it's just endless fission and stuff like that. That would be impressive. I want to see someone do that. But I'm not going to, because I don't know how. And they kind of reworked the console, couldn't get it to work. So, yeah. We have coolant. I am not renaming that unless I'm getting paid. Actually, I'm just joking. But seriously, like, why? Also, like, absorbable. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Cooling tower. This is obvious. I mean, you also have this. I have alt on. The super electric cooling radiator. I should not have done that. Sorry. Which is kind of insane. It can cool down plasma, which is the hottest thing in the game. If I were to brush in some plasma on it. How hot is plasma? That hot. Basically max temp. So, yeah, if your reactor can survive, or if your coolant can survive plasma, and not be made out of completely indestructible materials, or at least like things can flow through it, which you can with this, I'd say you did way too good of a job. Or like, it's insane. Of course, you could just limit it, especially with the heat pipes, which I'm going to get into now. But essentially, if you just want to test a reactor and not really set up, proper cooling, this is a good way to do it. Until you add cooling. I mean, this one doesn't even need cooling, because it can just run for, like, it doesn't even need cooling, period. It's very reliable. Because it kind of uses a micro version of this. Inside, also, this is so easy to make. You can just, or, if you actually want it to be continuous, you can just go, yay, look at that, super cooling. And then the, heat pipes are here. I feel like I want to scrap this again, but I'm not because I'm tired. Heat pipes. Output. Input. Probably should put arrows. I'm not going to. The correct way is they're both facing the same direction. Unless you have something like this where it kind of doesn't matter. Reason why? Pipes can't overlap unless you're using portals. I'm not using portals. Although portals are more efficient than clones at spawning things, you do need a large area as well, even for that, but that's not even like transport. Technically, it is the fastest way to move heat, but it's the least it's the least literal way to move heat. And then you have, they're facing the same direction, you need portals, or to make an X with a pipe cross. And I have actually seen that. A four-way junction in a pipe. Whoever made that, I forget their username. I don't understand. Uranium. I don't. Technically, it's not rods, cause like control rods, which I don't use those. I guess I have a micro version of this, but like, don't use it. So technically, it's like uranium pellets. But then again, not really. I don't know what to call this. If you know the technical term, tell me. I'm probably not gonna update it. First off, we have the small and the large. all it does is it turns on a pump, which is 7 degrees, which means the pressure goes to 7, which if you go above, pipes will burst, or I think it's exactly 7 pipes will burst. I don't know, it thins out in this direction. But essentially, turns on, uranium reacts with pressure, makes heat, and if it gets too warm, this turns on, turns off the pumps, and when the pumps turn off, the micro cooling, and it should fix itself. Deuterium, you really don't need much for that. You just need to make sure it has enough deuterium flowing to fill like a pipe and you're good. Or not even that, like deuterium, you really shouldn't need this. That's like a completely different thing in general. Plutonium, I've used this design twice, and it's worked twice. Trust me, this is a good design. Okay, so essentially, plutonium flows in here where there's a ludicrous amount of pressure, which brings it to max temperature immediately. And it flushes down, you have to draw the pipe. I recommend a giant radiator, and many cooling towers. Like I used 6, I could probably use more. But like 6 for like the cooling capacity. I mean I could add more cooling pipes. Then I could probably put 9. I think it's like 3 per pipe, which is really insane. But generally speaking, you can use a lot of cooling towers with it. And the way I kind of manage like how powerful a reactor is how many cooling towers you can run with it. I think uranium is either 3 or 4. I only use 2 because I'm lazy. But essentially I manage it like the more cooling towers you can run effectively, the better your reactor is. So if cooling towers aren't enough and you actually have to use this, like that must be an insane reactor or just like a ball of plasma. Again, like feasible, not like a joke, but also kind of like a bit much for what you really should have done. It's kind of the goal. Essentially make it like realistic or like not insane, but also like keep it reasonable, but also kind of push the limits on that. We have an example reactor which I'm going to turn on very soon. Pipe example, so you can try and like draw the lines. You probably shouldn't even need that. Remember, use glow works. And I actually got a comment saying, why do you use glow? That's a good question. The reason why I use glow, or anyone uses glow, in my opinion, I don't know if this is the case, it might just be copying, but it's because, as you can see here, unless the water's under extreme pressure, it's gonna boil, especially at this temperature. I don't think there's any way to stop it. Around like, there's definitely a way at like 200 and like, I don't know, whatever max temperature or pressure is, like, I can probably just go ahead and check. I'm lazy. I think it's like 256 or something like that. So, again, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So, the water would boil unless you have max pressure. But if you need max pressure, first off, if you're using uranium, if you're using plutonium, not sure why the pressure is escaping, or why you're producing so much pressure. And if it's somehow deuterium, I'm kind of worried of where that's coming from. I mean, I guess you could use pumps or vents, but like, you shouldn't have a high pressure reactor. Also, most stationary reactors in the world came from high pressure. I'm pretty sure like Chernobyl happened because the water boiled and blew it open, and then sprayed the rods of like uranium, or like whatever was in there, sprayed it into the air as well, because it exploded. Yeah, most reactors actually break because of water. Either there's not enough water for cooling, the water boils, or something else happens. It's pretty interesting, actually. It's very rare for it to actually, like, go, like, supercritical and, like, nuke itself. It's mainly the water just popping it open, just blowing off the roof. Pretty interesting stuff. Don't know why I know this, though. YouTube and the internet's a very interesting thing. But anyways, the test example works pretty well. This is also going to work because this is here. I'm not going to do anything about that. But also, as you can see, this is running well, the steam's coming out. I have a larger version, which apparently no one liked to look at, but yeah, also, I am actually aware, there's nothing I can do right there. You probably want to see the temperature of the plasma and see if it can withstand it. And yeah, it can. For whatever reason, it can absorb the temperature of plasma. It's kind of insane, but the entire point of this is just saying, the silicones actually level the heat to like 30, so that way your circuit doesn't melt down. This also makes it capable of cooling down power plants, which is pretty insane. Like, I could just get rid of this, put this in. It would be minimum temperature glow flowing through, which I'm going to do. And if you want to try and make your own, there's the Wi-Fi range 500 or above. Wi-Fi range is each 100 is a different channel, and it can go up to like 900 and down to negative 200. So you have channels, okay? Don't say there's not enough channels to make a reactor. You have plenty. Also, neither of these will melt down if you only have one control or like one control panel. I have two on the same frequency, which means that they're going to overheat. And now you probably want to see that with this. If not, then thank you for staying around. So, real quick, I'm going to rip this off. Also, I'm going to prove to you that this reactor is completely fine if it doesn't have cooling. It should never melt down on its current cycle. Which is good because, oh, I accidentally hit my microphone. Also, the audio is probably really bad right now. Again, don't know how to fix that. Probably shouldn't use Xbox Game Bar though. Yeah, see, it's not overheating. It's perfectly fine. You can run that for like 20 minutes. It will be fine. Anyways, just an example here. I doubt that's like connected properly. Just do that. And as you can see here, it's a little too powerful. The glow is just ice. Yeah, it's a bit insane. Good for testing. If it's just a proof of concept and you don't actually want to try for it. Yeah, and there you go. It's now running back in. The heat gradient on this thing must be insane. And that's how it makes power heat gradient. So as you can see, it's actually heating up at the very beginning. It's kind of funny. And this plutonium reactor is just going ballistic, dumping out uranium and, well, molten plutonium. Can't imagine that's too safe. Is there any, like, lava? No, it's literally just plutonium. For some reason, plutonium can melt in this game, which it's not supposed to. It can throw up to max temperature and not melt. But, you know, you're also not able to melt, what is it, rapid heat conductor, but apparently with lightning you can. It's a bit of a weird situation, but it's true. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I hope this little recap was nice. I guess that's all I can say. Expect more videos in the future. Also, last time I checked, you know that short I made, which is a sound normal engines make? Yeah, 430 views. It's not even a week old. It's my most viewed video. And it's a YouTube short. I both hate and enjoy YouTube. Of course, it's like the quick content I make which actually does well. Because no one likes sitting around listening to me talk, especially without any music. Which if you want, I could probably find some music which I can play. Or if anyone has any recommendations. Remember, it has to be like royalty free so no one screams at me. That would be nice if I actually played some nice music in the background, but again, YouTube's hyper aggressive, so you can't actually do that. But yeah, like, subscribe, because YouTube tells creators to say that because reasons they've never told me, but they're going to. It's like, you should probably expect YouTube creators to say like and subscribe because YouTube algorithm says it's good, and also like only 20 viewers subscribe, so go subscribe to the channel. Subscribe if you want. I make videos on engines, power plants. I guess not much on the Powder Toy anymore, but I used to make reactors. You can check those out. I'm gonna do some things in From the Depths, and Stormix is gonna release its Search and Destroy thing soon, which I'm probably gonna get. And I'm also looking to other games. I really want Volcanoids, even though I haven't seen a video on that in a while. Really cool game. So hey, if you ever see that in the future, you know what happened. But yeah, and also, if somehow my friends who only play on Xbox actually get that game, oof, it's gonna be fun. Doubt though. Also, I feel like talking, just in general, at the end of the video kind of causes people to leave, or like not click on it because they're like, oh, it's like 30 minutes long. Yeah, about a quarter of that's opinions, or just like random things I wanted to talk about. I don't know, I just feel like I can just talk on YouTube and people would be like, okay, yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna go end the video, you know what? It's a pretty obvious thing. Anyways, goodbye.